guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different that I typically do. I am doing a one brand tutorial for Bobbi Brown, as you can see in the title of this video. And I really wanted to do this because if you haven't heard, she is leaving the company, she's retiring. I believe that she had sold it to Estee Lauder a long time ago, but she stayed on board and was, a creative voice. So it's kind of sad because I don't know about you guys, but when I started kind of getting into makeup and I was able to afford makeup that was a little bit more on the high end, it was like Bobbi Brown and MAC were like the two big brands. She was an innovator. I mean, she was, she started a lot of things that are out now and they're very common now. And her message was always to enhance your beauty and not cover it up. So even watching some of her tutorials, that's what she did. She would enhance beauty. She would use a minimal amount of makeup and in the right places. So it would enhance features, and I love that. I love that concept. Especially for, like a day-to-day when you just really just want to look like yourself, but better. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to do this as almost like a tribute. Definitely had a good time doing this, and I hope you have a good time watching it. So let's get started. I'm gonna start off with her foundation stick, and I've used this for several years now, on and off, and it is really a good foundation stick. So what really sold me on this is I heard a lot of reviews and people were saying that, it really takes a lot of redness from your skin and also looks really natural. And so I was like, sold, and it does. It's really good. So just put that on. Just basically just put it on your face, stripe it on, and you can use a beauty blender, whatever really you want. I find that this one is a little bit thicker and creamier, so I like to use my kabuki brush. And as you can see, it's really easy to blend into the skin, and already it doesn't really look like foundation. It looks like skin, which is nice. You really don't want, you really don't want your foundation to show. It serves a purpose of giving you an even skin tone, but we all really kind of want to look like this is our natural skin tone, don't we? Isn't that the goal? Just make sure to go down. Typically I use a foundation that matches my neck, and so really it shouldn't be an issue if you kind of do the same thing, but sometimes they're not 100%. You want to make sure you don't have that line here, so just bring it down, whatever's left on the brush, and you will be good to go. So next I'm going to do a little bit of concealing under my eyes, and I'm going to be using, I have no idea what shade this is because I think it had a sticker and it's torn off, but it looks like this, and really it's got a little bit of kind of like a salmon color, and so that will correct any dark circles that you have under your eyes. This is a little bit of a thicker formula, and so what I've been really loving is blending out my concealer with my fingers. I usually do this with a beauty blender, but I find that, I don't know why. Maybe because my skin's drier in the wintertime, it's just, I don't know, just tends to crease more. But when I do this, it doesn't really crease. So can you see that? It is nice and bright, and I look like I slept for 3 days straight. Yeah, right. I'm going to also tap that and conceal any areas that I feel need concealing. So I have some veins here that show and some redness around this area. So again, I'm just using one finger to put it on and then a clean finger to dab it into my skin. So you can stop there, but I wanted to give you an option. If you wanted to do a little bit of highlighting, this is 1 to 2 shades lighter than my skin tone, so it works perfectly. And I'm just bringing it down slightly. I'm not going to do anything crazy with highlighting like where I typically do all over the face. I'm just going to keep it bright under my eyes, and very minimal product, as you saw that I use. and you see how it's nice and bright. And the reason I'm doing that is because it really gives you kind of like that awake look, and just a nice bright, awake, like you are, you know, well rested, healthy, and I like that, so that's why I do it. So I'm going to move on to blush before I set anything, and I'm going to be using this Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks, and this is Blushed Rose. So this is such a pretty color. Let me show it to you close up. And this is so neat because, like it says, you can use it for your cheeks and you can use it just to dab on your lips. It's a multi-purpose product. You guys know I love multi-purpose products, and this does a really good job. So I am going to use it for both, and I'm going to take one finger, dab a little bit on each side. Now this is a little bit of a dark color, so I want to make sure that I'm going to be blending that in really well. But as you can see, with cream products, they look really, really natural. So you really have that kind of like a natural flush look, which is pretty much what blush is for. It's to give you a nice natural look, bring that color into your face. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to powder. I'm going to set my whole face with cream stick concealers. I like to set everything. Really depends on the foundation. Sometimes I just do my T-zone, but these tend to, because they're a little bit more emollient, a little bit more oily, they do tend to move around more, so you definitely want to set them with some kind of powder. So one, you don't get a shine in your T-zone, but also your makeup won't move. Your foundation will lock in place, and that's really nice because then you don't have to worry about touching up too much throughout the day. So I'm just, I'm going to use MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish, and I think this is the shade Medium, and I am just going to set everything that I just did. I do a lot of tapping with my powder initially because I have found that if you initially tap the powder on with certain products, it doesn't move them around. So if you're like taking a brush and you're just, you know, streaking it around, you're probably going to move some of the product. I don't want to do that. So what I like to do is this. I find this is a really nice trick. And then if I need any more, it's already locked into place, and then you can go ahead and dust any where you need it. Okay, before I move on, I am going to prime my eyes, and I'm just going to use any primer that I have on hand. This is just the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I'm not using a concealer like I typically do, but if you don't use a concealer, prime your eyes because your eyeshadow will not stay on. I mean, if it does, you guys are lucky because I don't know if my eyelids get oily or what, but it typically will not stay on throughout the day without a primer. So you just want to let that sit. So yeah, I'm just gonna very, very slightly fill in any sparse areas. My brows have definitely grown in more since I started the Lash Boost. And if you haven't seen that video and you're interested, I have a video and it updates you on that. And it's kind of funny because it's for lashes, but it's been great for my lashes, but honestly, I'm even more excited for my brows because I don't know, as I've gotten older, they've thinned out. I guess that's normal. I don't know, maybe it was from all my plucking, but they're back. They're back. They're back. So done with the brows. Simple, simple. I always like to, even if it's a nice and natural look, I always like to set my brows. And that's just for my brows. If your brows don't move, don't worry about it. Mine do. So I like to set them so that I don't have to worry about them throughout the day. I'm going to move on to bronzer. So the bronzer I have is medium. It is slightly dark for my skin tone right now, but we can make it work. I'm just going to use a very light hand, and she has some of the best bronzers. I haven't used them that much lately because I like to try new things, and I've kind of gotten fixated on butter bronzer, but this one is very good. So I'm just going to use a light hand, and I'm just going to bronze my face very, very gently, mainly just to bring some depth, definition, color back to my face. I'm not going to do any contouring today, so this is just going to serve a purpose of giving yourself a healthy glow like you've been in the sun. And also when you put foundation everywhere, it's flat, so you want to put something on your skin like bronzer that's going to give it more depth, so it's kind of bring your features back out. So this is the most beautiful bronze look. I love this bronze. I haven't used it in so long, and I think I'm going to start using it again. And then you want to slightly bring some down on your neck so it matches your face. If you guys watch my videos, you definitely have seen this palette before. I have 3 shadows and another blush from her in here. And I really, really, really love 2 of these shadows. I mean, they're all good, but 2 of them are like my all-time faves. And they are these 2, Camel and Cocoa. This is Camel, this is Cocoa. They're just phenomenal. So if you ever want to try any of her shadows and you're not sure which ones, those are great in my opinion. I'm going to start off with Cement. I just use that as a transition color, and I'm popping that all over my lid and basically all over my eye, up to the brow bone. So I wanted to bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing on my eyes. It's a big fluffy brush, and Cement all over as a transition color. And then I'm going to move on to a different brush that's clean, and I'm going to move on to this guy right here. I love this color. I've loved it. I've loved it for like from the minute that I got it, and I used it so much. I mean, so much. And to this day, it's still probably one of my favorites. I'm going to do my shadows different than I typically do. I'm going to do it more of the Bobbi Brown style and kind of her signature look. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brown and I'm going to pop it on my lid here. And then I'm going to blend it upward. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to go back to this brush that I started with and just make sure that it is well blended between those 2 colors in this transition area right here. Now I'm going to go back to the Nude on Nude palette. And I'm going to go to this dark shade right here, and I'm going to pop that right in my lash line. So what I do is I gently, and it's because of my eye shape and etc, etc. You don't have to do this if you don't feel the need, but I like to kind of pull my skin slightly taut because the makeup will apply much easier. And all I'm doing is taking that color and putting it very close to the lash line, as you can see, and smudging it out. What I'm also doing is I am very, very slightly winging it out. Whatever's left on the brush, I'm just gonna flick it out. You just want to make sure that both sides match as far as, I mean, even with shadow, even when you can't really see it very much, like a liquid liner, you can really see it. It's nice and sharp. You definitely still want to make sure that they are going in the same direction and they match as much as possible. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of that dark color and I'm going to smudge it on my lower lash line. So if you just go halfway in, it's going to make your eyes appear larger, and that's a nice trick if you want your eyes to look bigger. Then I'm going to go to this color right here, and it's called Ivory. And it's just kind of like a matte ivory color, really is what it is. And I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlight. And then I'm going to use that same color for my inner corner highlight, just to brighten it up a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to use is a Longwear gel eyeliner in Chocolate Shimmer ink. This is what it looks like. One of my favorite brownie gel liners. This will last you all day. You put this on, it's not going to budge at all. So I am just going to tight line, so I'm going to go really close to my lashes. And I love doing this. It makes your lashes look bigger. I'm going to move on to my lashes. I cannot find, for the life of me, I cannot find her mascara, and it was like the smoky, I forgot the name of it, but I can list it down below for you guys if you're interested. It is a fabulous mascara, but because I don't have it, I'm just going to use what I've been using recently, which is the It Cosmetics Superhero. It's been really good. I use that on my upper lashes, and then I use either a MAC one that I have or the They're Real mascara for my lower lashes. Something I've been doing recently with a lot of my makeup looks that I really enjoyed is, as you saw, I put that blush that was a cream product on my cheeks, and I like to layer my blushes because it kind of gives it a, I don't know, like more of a natural flush look. And I know that sounds crazy, layering gives you a more natural look, but it kind of does because it gives you more of like an extra dimension. So sometimes when you are naturally flushed, if you notice, you have more than one color. So anyway, I am going to use this color. It looks crazy. I know this is a super popular blush for a very long time, and it looks totally crazy in the pan, but I promise you when it goes on your skin, it's so beautiful. And let me show you. So use a very, very light hand. So tap and take off all of the excess, and then continue to use a very light hand and just gently tap that onto your cheeks. I mean, you can't even really see it, but it gives you like this nice flushed look, healthy glow. You see what I'm talking about? It doesn't look like that crazy bright pink on the actual skin. And we're gonna move on to highlighter. So do you guys remember these? They still sell them actually. They're the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Bricks. They're like one of the first, like it kind of started out with these with highlighting, and I mean I know there was highlighters before this, of course, but when these came out it was like all the rage, and of course we have so many different highlights right now to choose from, but these are still really, really good. They give you more of that really kind of intense highlight. So if you want more of a gentle highlight, this might not be for you, or you can try to use a very, very light hand and see how that works. So this is a color bronze. As you can see, it has all these different strips, so you can kind of mix them all together, or you can choose a strip that you like. So let's see, today I think I'm just gonna mix the first 3 colors. So I'm just gonna pop those on, tap out the excess. And you see how that is pretty intense, like immediately, but it's so, so beautiful. Look at that highlight. You see what I'm talking about? How it is just, I mean, it's pretty intense. So if you like that, you're gonna love this. And also bring a little bit of the highlight, whatever's left on here, and it'll give you a beautiful glow, and kind of connect it to this area right here. Back to this Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks. I really just want kind of like a tint to my lows. So some color, but nothing too intense or glossy. Now, I am going to show you if you do want this to be a little bit more dramatic, use a lip liner or just a lip brush and line your lips. And some people like to overline their lips, or some people like that look. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like with your lips lined. So I'm just gonna go fix my hair and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so this is a final look. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this kind of brought back some memories for you guys on some Bobbi Brown products maybe you haven't used in a while. And I also hope that you learned something as always and enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.